Hi, welcome to Song's coaching video. This is where I get to talk about personal branding, marketing, and life in general actually. Today's topic is, it feels like I have opened a can of worms. Last Sunday on my Facebook Live video, I talked about pricing as a story, how we tell ourselves a story when we make a purchasing decision, when we spend the money on some things. So today, as I promised, I thought I could start a series, and today's topic is going to be about free advice. Yeah, this video being free, it's interesting, isn't it? When it occurred to me today when I was out photographing my clients, clients I say, and shoot was delayed and we were talking briefly about their website, and half an hour into it I realized I was in the mode of advice giving. Yes, that's right. I am so quick to dish out advice. I used to be that way, not anymore because that's actually my job. So I don't do that. I'm very mindful. So I want to invite you to think about how you're pricing your service. Now, most of you in an industry where you are a subject matter expert, you would know the going rate for your work. So this advice may not apply to you, so you can totally ignore me. But if you are starting out and if you think being affordable is the way to break into a market, then I would like you to think differently. I'm assuming you know your stuff and you can create results for your clients just the way I had to actually psych up to really believe in my own work. And that's why I'm here today talking to you. But it's not about me. Let's go back to the topic of, okay, let's say your work is, you know your stuff and you can create results. If that is the case, giving away your knowledge and skills and dishing out advice willy-nilly for free is doing everybody a disservice. You are not doing anything good for people who are at the receiving end of your advice. Let me explain why that is. It's because the advice is available for free everywhere. And depending on the context, on the place in which the advice is given to these people, they can be completely useless even though you are the expert, even though you mean well. That's because it's all about the psychology of us receiving, the people who are recipients of your advice. They are not psyched up to receive your advice in a way that is going to be beneficial for them. Have you ever had an experience where you were given something for free and you get absolutely no value out of it, although that same thing could have been super expensive? You know what I mean by that, yeah? Because when something is given for free, the value of that, even though that same thing sometimes has to be purchased at a higher price, when you're given for free, you tend not to acknowledge the value, not to actually take any advantage of it at all. So let me give my work as an example. I used to get called to have coffee with people. So let's have coffee, sit down and catch up. And invariably, I'm in the mode of giving people advice. Now that advice might have gone nowhere, but I keep getting these invitations and calls. That's the point when I realize, okay, there's something that I do and I know there's value in this. Now that same piece of advice or a set of recommendations that I used to give away for free, now that is actually worth few $100s because there are clients who actually have a session with me and they literally pay me few $100s per session for consultation. Imagine that same person, me, same set of recommendations coming from decades of experience in the industry, be it digital media marketing or sales or personal branding. Now people pay for it, and the result I get from a client telling me the kind of result they are able to create, enormous. those people who used to get my advice for free? I don't know, none the wiser. Do you see the difference? So knowing that it's all in our head, it's all about psychology of how people perceive your work. Of course, pricing has to match your brand. If your brand comes across as happy, cheap, kind of brand, then sure, being affordable is the right thing to do for you. But if that is not what you want, if that's not where you want to go, then you have to seriously consider whether your brand is, your pricing actually matches your brand, the kind of work that you do, and the kind of value you are already creating. So knowing all that, with that in mind, is your pricing currently working for you? And if not, what would you do to change it? What would be the one thing that you could change in your mind or in your service offering to reconcile, to meet, to actually bridge the gap between what it really needs to be and where you are? I hope it was helpful. I know there will be a lot of questions around this, and this is just the tip of the iceberg in terms of talking about money and pricing. So I would love to hear from you if you'd like to share your experience, your questions, or your insight, if you're generous enough to share one with me. Thank you, and I see you next time. Ciao.